Look at you.
Look at you. It's been so long. Happy Pride.
Oh, happy Pride.
Yay.
I love it.
Yeah. Pride for me is more about, just being in your own skin and being happy with who you are. Helping others that aren't there yet.
Yeah. Yeah,
For
and
sure.
you do it, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's less about parades for me nowadays, but I do love a good parade.
Before the parade.
Absolutely.
So, meet the biz.
Yay!
Come on, look. Call 911.
We already did.
Call him again. Put him on speaker.
911, what's your emergency?
It's emergency dispatcher Abby Clark, Parker Center. I'm not on site. I need to speak to Stephanie Gaskins in emergency medical dispatch.
This is EMD Gaskins.
Steph, it's Abby.
Abby?
I've got an adult male, fully obstructed air pipe.
Compressions?
Yes, but he's unconscious. I can't remove the object. He stopped breathing 2 minutes ago. Another 3 minutes. He's gonna have brain damage. I need you to walk me through an emergency tracheotomy.
Abby, have you lost your mind?
Come on. You know the paramedics are gonna be at least 7 minutes. I can't let this happen. I've got to do something.
You got a knife, something sharp. You're going to need something to keep the airway open, like a pen or a straw.
A knife and a pen or a straw or something. Okay. Oh, thanks.
Find the indentation between his Adam's apple and the cricoid cartilage.
Okay. Yep. Okay, I think I found it.
You're going to make a horizontal incision, a 1/2 inch wide and about 1/2 inch deep.
Oh my God. Oh God. Oh God, okay.
There shouldn't be a lot of blood, but try to keep it from leaking into his windpipe.
Okay, I did it.
Okay, stick your finger in, open it up.
Oh God. Oh my God. Okay.
Get the pin in there. 2 quick breaths. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. Another quick breath.
Excuse me, Gurney coming through.
It's okay.
Gurney coming through.
Okay.
I love in this business, in this world of entertainment, how, you meet someone years and years and years ago, and God, it sounds like I'm old, but I'm still young and fresh.
Very fresh. Very fresh.
Very fresh. It's just interesting how you can meet somebody years ago and you just keep knowing them, and they truly become part of the family, and your family, their family, all the families come together and you grow with them, and then you don't speak to them for a little while, but then you connect and reconnect, and it's like time hasn't gone by. It truly is family. And
absolutely.
Right? That voice, by the way, is our special guest today. And she has done just really, she's amazing in so many aspects of her life. And she's an actress. She's been on 911, Drunk History, the new movie that just came out, I Solve Problems. She was on Speechless. I could keep on going. The beautiful, the wonderful Kina Diehl.
I won't stand up and clap because I can't, but
yay!
Nice introduction, sir. Good. How are you?
I'm okay. I got my little cup with my ginger ale.
Yay! I don't have any cups, but I'm sure I'll find a cup later in the hour.
Okay, first of all, I love your room.
This is my VHS layer, so this is kind of like my film study. And I grew up with VHS. It's my first love. And I didn't have a lot of money a few years ago. And one of the things that my wife and I used to do is we'd go every week to her store it's just something to do, and we always had pocket change. So, and then I realized that it's like, this whole begotten era of VHS tapes, and I just went hog wild, and now it's like the collection I always dreamed of.
It's wonderful. It's so wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, and all these movies that I love and have seen, and there's Cujo.
Oh my God, Dee Wallace. Dee Wallace is one of my heroes.
Oh my God.
As you know, she's family as well.
Yes.
So she's
Yeah.
in our little, yeah, it's a goal of mine to be on that stature of Dee Wallace.
Well,
Daniel
we gotta go
Harris.
visit again. We should all have like a party with Dee.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, she's taught Meet the Biz like, I don't know, 4 or 5. I lose track.
Of course, I always liked your classes, of course, but I would probably say Dee and Lady Kazan were my favorites, just because given their body of work, they were so accessible and they were so willing to teach, and just, that's great.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah. We could do a whole episode just on your room and the things that I see in it, because it's so something that I could just jump into and hang out on your couch next to the pillow.
Well, yeah, you're more than welcome to come over here anytime. Now that we're all vaccinated, let's do it up.
I think so. We'll have a movie party, an all night long movie party.
Oh yeah, no, I could stay here all day, but I have a marriage to attend to as well.
Of course. Well,
yeah.
I do have to say, I mean, talking about being in the entertainment industry and you being an actress, I mean, you were the winner of the first annual John Ritter Scholarship, right?
Yeah, for young actors with disabilities. That's what really was the big catalyst to getting me and my family to move down here to pursue everything as far as film and television.
Right.
But before all that, I started in theater. I grew up in a small snow town in Northern California. And
where?
That was Calaveras County.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm from Arnold.
I grew up in San Mateo County.
Oh, so we're not that far. Okay. So yeah, small town people. And I grew up in theater. I originally wanted to play baseball for the San Francisco Giants. That was my first, I wanted to do that, but obviously given my physicality, I couldn't do that. And then I got into skiing, and my parents were very athletic.
Yeah. So
I got into adaptive skiing, and then I really took to acting when I was about 5, mainly because I watched movies. The television and the VHS was, my babysitter on the days that I couldn't do as much, which were often. So, but I never felt like it was wasted time, ever. I was always lost in all the different actors and why they made the movie and how they made the movie. And that's how I started with acting. And I would do about 3 plays a year. And I would get a lot of local press, and I was pretty well known. Right. And then that's when I got given the scholarship, because I was doing so many plays at that time.
I love that.
And that was just wild, because I remember, of course, everybody knows John. Everybody, I mean, for me, I grew up watching Problem Child. Those are the films that I watched with him in. And so particularly Problem Child 2 was my favorite out of that bunch. And I remember he had passed on, and I remember that being such a shock, that he had just, that how it happened and how sudden it was. I remember my best friend being really distraught because she had grown up on Three's Company reruns and all that stuff. And I watched this documentary about him, and it was not only did he just seem like the most genuine man, such a sweetheart, but his brother has cerebral palsy, his brother Tom. And the Ritters actually started United Cerebral Palsy.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and I was watching this going, oh my God, I wish I had met this guy. What a great person. Yeah. And then like a week or two later, I got given the call that he had donated some money to Media Access, which was a government-run program. As you know, that's how we met, to try and get actors with disabilities out there. And that was such a huge thing, and it just really kind of solidified, okay, this is your next step. This is what you're supposed to do. And I moved 1 month after I graduated. So I moved out here at 18 in 2005.
Wow. I remember when you got that award.
You do?
I do. I remember.
Yeah, Jason, his son, gave it to me, and Joe Montana was there because they were on a show at the time together. And
wow.
Yeah, and then I think no, that wasn't the night that I met Stevie Wonder, but I also met Vern Troyer that night, and it was just those were such fun times, because I think, Media Access, the awards are kind of closed now, and I miss that because everybody used to go. It was like a big family reunion, and you'd also get to meet some stars as well.
Right. I was looking through your pictures online, and I saw that one beautiful one of you and Stevie.
Oh my God! What I love about that picture, I'm a huge Motown fan. I grew up on Motown and Stevie and all that. But yeah, that moment was amazing. It was like literally being greeted by a real life angel. That's what it felt like, because he had that same kind of presence, just really fun and playful. Yeah. And his shape too. He's a big guy.
Right.
Yeah, he's just tall. But the thing I love about that picture the most is my mom's smile. She's just through the roof.
Your mom's smile is,
yeah.
I love seeing her whenever she would come to class, or whenever I would see her at events. And
yeah.
And again, when I looked at that picture, there you were with her.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned my parents and my mom, and being disabled. It's you have to have a community, and a lot of us are are dependent on others to do stuff. So like acting and going to auditions and stuff like that. That used to be a real chore.
Yeah.
So it's real important to have support, whether it's a family that you're born into or like a family like us.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to do all the stuff I do without my wife and my family helping me along. Like, I had an audition today, and we were looking up. I always look up what to wear. Like, if I have an idea of what the audition actually is,
right,
I'll look up previous ones and look up what to wear and all that stuff. And then, so my wife helps me get ready and all that stuff. It's a real group effort to do what we do. So if I, get an audition, or if I book something, I consider it a team win,
Yeah. You are such an open book. You're so, that looks good. I should get some of that. I should start drinking water rather than ginger ale, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love ginger ale. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's sort of the cleanest of the, sodas.
Yeah, definitely.
Now you're talking, like I mentioned, you're such an open book, and it feels just to flow, just to be you is what makes you so wonderful. Like you were talking about your wife. And where did you both meet?
Okay, so we actually met on Plenty of Fish before it kind of went downhill. So online dating. And I was on there for 2 years. Right. Homegirl was on there for 30 minutes. And she knew a good thing when she saw it.
Woo!
So
okay,
yeah, that was almost 8 years ago now. 8 years ago now, at least.
Really?
I know, time flies. Yeah, and she has multiple sclerosis, and I have cerebral palsy. So even though our disabilities are different, they're kind of similar in how we affect each other. It affects us, and
right.
And there's just disabled love is beautiful. That's for sure.
I have a bunch of questions written down, and I want to get to them all, but I'm just going with the flow of where we're going, which I usually do,
Yeah,
sort of like taking a ride at Disneyland. Um,
absolutely. Let's go with the flow.
by going, oh, this is the thought that came to my mind. As you get more and more doing more and more work, and you get to that point where you're people are seeing you on the screen all the time, or even now, what do you want people to learn? What do you want humanity to learn? If you had to teach one thing to society or the world, what would it be?
That there's nothing wrong with being disabled at all. It's something that we all encounter, and yet there's such deep shame in it. And that's because we belong to a capitalist society where the measure of a person's worth is how much you can get done in a day.
Hmm.
And I don't believe in that. I feel like you're a human being on this earth. You're good enough. We're all connected to it. You're in no way a stranger to this place. We all have something to give and offer. It's up to you to figure that out, though, what that is.
Mhm.
And but yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being disabled. What's wrong is not making sure that we're given all the accessible lifestyle that we need.
Mhm.
That's what's wrong. But you're not wrong. You're not broken. It's part of being human. So
Right. Everybody has different parts of themselves, and everybody is their own person.
right.
And it's I was hearing that, and I was thinking about, we think about pain, whether it's a physical pain or a mental pain, and it seemed like the acceptance can be the acceptance of a person, whoever they are, whether they're gay, they're straight, they have a disability, they're, I don't know what they've had a heart attack. The acceptance of people have issues with that for some reason, and it seems to be more painful sometimes than actual physical pain.
Yeah, oh, yeah. People with CP, for example, I think more than half of us experience depression. And that could be from the brain injury itself that you can acquire, or it can also be, circumstantial, because again, we're disabled living in an ableist world.
Mm.
And it's like, well, that seems too big, and it's not too big. It could be, you could just take small steps of letting people know, what they could do to change, or getting your voice out there. I have a huge or pretty big Instagram following for medical cannabis. I'm also known as Rolling Stoned. And I
Right.
remember when I first started that, I was like, I just, I record videos on my phone. That's how I do it. And I remember like, oh, people want to hear this. People want to know.
You can open your own shop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And website and all, and YouTube and the whole nine.
Yeah.
But, at first, I remember thinking, oh, people don't really care. You'd be surprised. It's important to get your voice out there however you can.
Well, it's interesting you talking about your voice, because when you did grow up, when you were back in the day, when you're up in Northern California, you had your own cable access show. So you had that voice, probably when you popped out of the womb.
Well, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I was born 3 months early, because I had all this stuff to do and say and try,
Right.
Absolutely. But no, I did Alice's Flicks, Picks and Kicks. Again, that was me reviewing movies, talking about, and it was the best thing, for a kid in middle school, because the payment was free rental and movie tickets. So that I hit the jackpot as far as I was concerned at the time.
Do you have any of this on tape?
Oh yeah. I totally do. And it's really bad. But I think it's really bad, but you probably think so. Everybody else would probably say it's adorable, but I'll have to poke some out because I have them in here. and then I'll post them so you can see.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's how it started. But yeah, my love of movies has all, and I've written for Rue Morgue in the past, which is a horror magazine in Canada. And so I mean, that love of film has never left me.
well, that's the thing too. I know that you're a huge fan of horror.
Yeah, huge fan, which is why Dee Wallace is a big deal to me.
Yeah.
And the funny part about that is I'm glad we're talking about Dee, because I grew up with Robert Conrad, so much so that he was like my uncle.
Yeah.
He really he wasn't the greatest human being, but if he liked you, he would treat you like you were solid gold. And that I got into acting, he took it very serious, and he'd come to all my plays, and
Right.
he ended up doing a show there in our hometown, and Dee Wallace was a part of it. And I wasn't into acting at the time. I was really young.
Yeah.
And she sat down next to me and my mom, and she pulls out this really old makeup bag. And I go, wow, that's an old big makeup bag you got there? She goes, yeah, I've had it since I was the mom on ET. And I went, of course, you should know that I have about 7 original ET tapes. It's my favorite film of all time.
You have
And
7
I said,
of original ones or all different ones?
oh yeah, baby. So one day I'll cash in on a couple of them, but not all.
I love it.
And I said, you were the mom on ET? She goes, yeah, I'm Dee. Nice to meet you, kiddo. And
Yeah.
I wasn't really in the scene. I didn't know what I was doing. She's like, oh, you don't talk. You just watch me walk. And then I walk off camera, and that's it. So she was kind of teaching me like what to do and where to look and all that stuff. And I think at the last couple of takes or whatever, she rubbed my head so you could see me on camera. So my first ever on film scene when I was a little kid was with Dee.
And
so the fact that
what again?
with my first on camera scene is with Dee when I was a little girl.
And was it it was for a movie?
No, it was for Bob Conrad's
Right.
searching. Bob Conrad's it's High Mountain Rangers, I think.
Okay.
That's what they called it. We always called it Bob Conrad Search and Rescue, but that's not what it was. It was High Mountain Rangers, I think. So yeah, and they played a bunch of snow EMTs basically. And but yeah, so to actually get to know her really as an adult through your classes was a really wonderful full circle moment, and now whenever we see each other, we remember each other. But
Right.
yeah.
It's interesting to hear that story because I didn't know that you had met Dee before, and to hear that complete story makes me go, oh, because I just do these, I do mixes because I enjoy it, and even more than that, I love connecting people. So to hear that story and how it came full circle in a way is,
Magic.
Magic, and it even fills me up more.
Because it just shows you that I was in the right place.
Right.
I was supposed to be with you and Dee and acting and what I've always done.
Right. And I'm connecting to your cable access show, and what made me think of a cable access was Creature Features with Bob Wilkins.
Oh, Bob Wilkins is a hero.
I love
and that was, and I have to say, he would always end each show with watch horror films make America strong again. And to be honest, I was scared out of my gourd when COVID came down because I have a lot of medical trauma from being disabled myself. Yeah. So it was basically the culmination of all my fears, And sure enough, I was like, well, I could definitely just sit down for a year and watch Netflix. It's what I do most of the time anyway. And I subscribed to Shudder. And I don't know what it was, but you know, and I watch more horror than I have ever, and I'm a horror writer,
Right.
you know, but it made me feel safer. And I think that's what I love about horror the most, is it's a safe outlet for all your fears. You know, maybe you could put something on that's even scarier than COVID to help you cope, you know, and when they're done correctly, it's a social justice call for something. Usually, like Get Out, Us, those are more modern ones. But I also, you know, Cujo, for example, is not just about a scary dog. It's about a relationship that's falling apart, you know, and her having to deal with cheating on her husband, and you know, the fact that I think the boy is more attached to the dad than the mom, you know, and how that affects them as they're trying to escape this big scary dog, you know.
You know, and I'm hearing this too, when you said, you know, here is this big thing called COVID, and it's like horrific. And so where do you run to? You run to horror films, which is amazing. The way you described it was a healing, where, you know, for me, I do love horror films, but for that, during the last year, I've stayed away from horror films because
Most people said the same thing.
I feel like I was living one. But so I went to more meditation and more Zen and all that.
Same. Yeah.
But I mean, I used to collect horror soundtracks.
I know. Do you have any left? Because I would love to compare notes.
Oh yes, I have the albums.
Yeah.
I have The Howling. I have, and one day I'm gonna go to Dee's and say, "Can you sign this?" Because
totally.
I don't usually ask for autographs and all that. I think I've asked for 2 in my whole life, and one of them was to Corey Allen, which, you know,
Fair. I worked with Corey Allen. All my buddies, we did a wonderful, like, half non-disabled, half disabled cast of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
And can I just say how special of an experience that was? Because it never happened again. And it, you know, it's kind of few and far between that you have multiple people, you know, especially in theater. We need to talk about the inaccessibilities of theater and how that should change, because that's one of the reasons why I only do film and television, is because I feel like stage is incredibly hard for people with disabilities. Not only the time that you put in, but the accessibility as well.
Right. God, that was, you know, now that you mentioned that too, you know, I know to produce that was, again, it's one of these things you just do. I mean, being with Corey and doing something like, it was in a way ahead of its time in a certain way.
It was, and and it was never done again, and it was just, I don't know, and some of the people that were involved, of course, aren't here. Lucy Hagen, who I love, and Corey, and you know, it's just a really special. And again, they paired me and Andy because we're 2 peas in a pod. We're 2 unicorns.
Yes, you are. I remember you know, auditioning, and you would be there at the same time at times, and it was like you did seem like a brother and sister kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely, and
or
you know,
don't you call it like gay marriage or not? I know.
Yeah, no, he's my gay husband. I'm going to put that out right now. Yeah, I'm his lesbian wife. It's that's like you said, it's another connection. I mean, him and I were very, very close at one point, but then, you know, work and you know, life and all that stuff. But again, when we see each other and work together, it's like no time has passed. Yeah. Family. So
I want to get back to what you have done. You know, we grow up, we watch these movies. I mean, I used to love what I think we will have to compare how many VHS tapes I used to have. I got rid of a lot of them, but and also the horror. But you went on to manifest your horror by also being in the Reign of Terror, a haunted house.
Yeah, I really did. That actually, I mean, go back a few steps. So when I first came to Hollywood, I was expected to do great. I mean, like I said, had my own cable access show. I did 3 plays a year. Bing, bang, boom. The John Ritter Scholarship. Hey, I'm thinking this is it. I'm going to be on Disney in no time, baby. No.
Yeah.
Ableism was really bad then.
Yeah.
And I would maybe get like 2 auditions a year. And it was very disheartening. I was pissed. And so I got as many tattoos as I could because that's what I wanted, and dyed my hair and figured out that I was an advocate for the LGBT community and the disability community and medical cannabis community. I had to figure out who I was, not just an actor, not just a film geek that loved films, but who I was as a person, I think.
When did you feel like you were a part of the LGBT community? When did that sort of went, oh?
I realized when I was 13, but it terrified me at the time because I just didn't want to be both, the disabled girl and the gay girl. There wasn't, and nobody talked about it even then still. People need to realize that we've come so far in just like 5 or 8 years, yeah, and I didn't come out until I was about 19 after I moved here. And it took, it was hard because I was dating a guy at the time and that was tough, but sometimes that's what it takes, is for you to go, oh, okay, things are getting serious now. I gotta figure out who I am. Yeah, so I really didn't think that I was ever going to get back into acting, which sounds crazy, right? With the legacy that I have and
right,
all that. And then I met my wife and I realized that, they had never seen me act, and that really hurt me, that there was this person, the love of my life, that had never known that side of me, and so I decided to get back into it. I called Gail and I said, and she picked up the phone and she goes, "Hi, stranger." And I said, "Hi." And I said, "Well, do you mind if I audition for you, if you have any open spots or anything?" And she's like, "I'll take you on." And I said, "Oh, okay." And again, like no time has passed. And I've known Gail since I was 15. So
well, it's so true, because I mean, when I first met you, I mean, you were like, whoa, this girl can act. And then seeing you in the last year to 2 years when you're on 911 and whatever roles you're doing, the drunk history, whatever you're doing, I see you and I go, whoa, it's like you've got your game on,
Yeah, I'm having fun. I just wanted to play. That's it. I just wanted to play. I don't, of course, I want the bigger stuff, like what's happening for my great buddy Nicole, and I'm so happy for her. Her and I turned out to be college buddies again. Another connection, family.
You were in college together?
Yeah, we went to Moorpark College for a short while,
and then
we did plays together. So it's crazy that we would act alongside each other, and now that we're doing other bigger things with Maysoon and Zayed and
right,
stuff like that. So that's really exciting. I think that's going to go somewhere
it's
big.
Interesting how you're all connecting. You're connecting with Maysoon, and then you did the
Toby, Nicole, and I've known Toby just as long. So you could really finally see the players that have always been here finally start to come in. And they say it takes a long time. It's not something that necessarily is going to happen overnight. It does. And I hear those stories and I'm like, oh, shut up. Good for you. But, unless it's someone I really love. And then I'm just like, this is great. I'm about raising each other up. I'm never about like, oh my God, that, because I can tell you that me and Nicole have auditioned for the same roles. All the roles she's gotten now are roles that I've auditioned for.
Right. And now you're special together.
Yeah. And that was our first on-screen time. And it was special. It was amazing.
Wow.
after all that time, that was our first on-screen time. And so I think the universe is starting to get it. They need to cast both of us, not just one or the other.
Right.
Both of us is where the real magic will happen.
I could see that happening.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to, with Maysoon and everything, it's going to happen. Absolutely. But that's the point. We all need to do it together, not just one person out to get it all.
Other children of Arcadia. Please welcome Jason Ritter.
I know my father supported the mission of the Media Access Office, and I know he understood the meaning and the purpose of these awards. And I know he would have understood the ambition, desire, and excitement that these young performers have within them. And so thank you for honoring his memory in a way that will continue to inspire young actors in the future.
Our Northern California recipient of the John Ritter Young Performer Scholarship is Alice Diehl. She is a high school junior who is active in the drama department productions as well as local theater. She has produced her own movie review program on cable access for over 2 years. So please welcome the host of Alice's Flicks, Pips, and Kicks, Alice Diehl.
Joe. Oh my God, Joe McCann. That's crazy. First, real quick, I'd like to thank Media Access, especially the North Side, Mr. Doug Gordy, for taking me under your wing. I'm a youngin', so thanks for taking care of me. And then, second of all, my hero, Mr. John Ritter, aka Jack Trippa. I wear this button. I made this button. It's a picture of John Ritter in his younger days, probably Three's Company days. I'm sure you guys all had the pleasure of laughing with him, crying with him. I wear this button to remember him. And then I got the opportunity to meet the wonderful Jason Ritter and to meet all these people that were touched by him. And I'm thinking, I'm wearing this button to remember him. He's one of these people that's too hard to forget. And I just wanted to say, on behalf of my other co-recipient, Logan, thank you, John. I love you. I will use this well. Thank you.
Thanks, Alice. Southern California.